Okay, so listen, I just left a District 1 community meeting here in Nashville after Councilwoman Joy Kimbrough, her name was smeared in a News Channel 5 campaign where some man who he's a white man who wants to open up a 350,000 square feet liquor warehouse in a black neighborhood, right, got mad and filed. He filed this ethics complaint against our black woman, councilwoman, who is a well-known lawyer here in Nashville, who has stood up for the community in many a situation, and who actually ran for District 1, where she is born and raised, so she could restore integrity back. And so when I first heard the complaint, I was like, wow. And then they said, oh, we have a video, and they never played the video. And then I said, this is bullshit, right? You all are running a news complaint. You're running this ethics complaint, and you're doing all this guessing and saying, oh, well, she did this. This is what this guy is saying, versus just playing the recording so all can hear themselves what actually was said. And so I'm so happy that I was able to go here to this community meeting and here in person. I recorded the entire thing, what Councilwoman Joy Kimbrough was saying, and I'll be posting that. I will also be doing a sit-down interview with her where she is able to speak about everything that occurred without feeling as if she's being ambushed by a news studio, right? Which shouldn't happen. I mean, you all know, if you've been on the Black Law Girl rant, one of the first stories that I did was of Gideon's Army, when I was talking about the media lynching that happened with them and them telling one-sided view. Right. And so here again, it's not surprising that the same thing is happening. It's sad, but it's not surprising. And so the beautiful thing is, Councilwoman Joy Kimbrough, in declining to speak to this news media, however, was very transparent with her constituents. So she sent out an email that said the truth, right, regarding the very biased and misleading news story that aired yesterday. And she said, Ryan Moses, who is a liquor store CEO, he wants to build his over 350,000 square foot liquor warehouse in Bordeaux, not far from Cumberland School. This will require agricultural land on Ashland City Pike, owned by the church, to be rezoned to industrial. And so the Metro Planning Department has already said no, but Moses believes that his family connections and money will allow him to rezone the property anyway in this predominantly black area of town. Moses is using the oldest trick in the book. And when I said predominantly black part of town, that's not actually in her statement, but I'm giving you context, right? This is a predominantly black area of town, Bordeaux. Many of us know that. And so Moses is using the oldest trick in the book. He has found the loudest, most ignorant people in our community. He has paid them, given them free liquor for their meetings, and promised to help sell their fish and barbecue sauce. In exchange, those leaders have tried to convince the Bordeaux community that a liquor warehouse solves their problems. But these leaders are motivated by greed and self-interest, and what they do not know is that they are harming Bordeaux forever. They're turning agricultural land into an industrial building zone that the Bordeaux community will be stuck with permanently, even when the land changes hands. I am a lifelong District 1 resident. This is from Councilwoman Joy Kimbrough, and will never allow an outsider to come to our beloved Bordeaux community and rape our land. That's a promise. Moses is a liar. He has made a large investment in getting his way. He has given large amounts of money to leaders in the community. He is frustrated because I am not for sale. See, they don't know what to do with a person when they're not for sale, right? That's what they're so used. They don't know what to do. They don't know. So then what do we do when someone's not for sale and their money can't work? Then we're going to lie on them. Let's file an ethics complaint. Let's raise some issues around it. That way, the community is like confused, like, oh, what's going on? I don't really know. And then when that person comes up for re-election, the only thing you remember is a headline, no matter how false that headline may be, right? All right, so let's keep going. He is frustrated because I will not take his money. He knows that I have never demanded money. Moses has sent me dozens of emails and texts that I do not even respond to. He's worrisome. Pay close attention to the email I sent him where I shut him down by telling him that there is no amount of money that his company can bring to the table that will make me support his liquor store in Bordeaux, which is a predominantly black part of town. Channel 5 intentionally left that out. This entire complaint is not saying I took money. It is essentially complaining that I would not take his money. Moses is a desperate man from a privileged background who insists upon having his way in Bordeaux. He is a man that has no respect or concern for the well-being of our community other than how he can use it to make money for his family. He has approached Council at Large member Berkeley Allen to completely bypass the people of District 1 to rezone the church's property for his liquor business. We must stand together. She then goes to speaking on her refusal to give an interview with Channel 5. News Channel 5's Jennifer Cross stated that I declined to give a sit-down interview, but she intentionally failed to state the reason why or to provide a copy of the declination email sent to her. In a nutshell, the legal analyst for News 5 is the same attorney the liquor store hired to represent them for their Bordeaux rezoning. He is on Channel 5's payroll and the liquor warehouse's payroll. Channel 5 and no other media outlet was provided a copy of the ethics complaint as soon as it was filed. The work on this fabricated story began before the complaint was filed. The invitation extended from Cross was simply an attempt to ambush. And then she goes on to, this is to her constituents, and there was a community meeting. She invites them to the community meeting tonight, that was today at 5:30 at Cathedral of Praise, which I just left. So I want to have a conversation about this, right? Belle Meade versus Bordeaux, because that's where this guy is from, this Ryan Moses, this liquor store CEO, who is insistent upon placing a liquor store in Bordeaux, right? He's from Belle Meade. Why don't we ask, there's a Belle Meade group, and I know because remember I ran that campaign, and I remember being in all these different groups, and I know there's a group called Belle Meade, West Meade, all these different places. I think Lou Wilbanks runs that. Why don't we ask her, do you all want a liquor store or liquor warehouse there? How about we put one there? Right? Why are you trying to put it in Bordeaux? And then when it doesn't happen, when your money, and let's be clear about this, because when these big CEOs come to these locations, what they often do is they try to invest in the community. So they'll try to offer up a certain amount of money to invest into different community initiatives or things of that nature, which I'm sure that's what he was trying to talk about with Councilwoman Kimbrough. But like she sent to her constituents the email, when he continuously followed up asking about community contributions and which organizations, how he can send money, she says, you're confused by our conversation. Still, I wanted to let you know that I've considered your and Nick Leonardo's proposal to the community. Now, Nick Leonardo is the lawyer for the liquor warehouse, and this is the person that she's mentioning. She's speaking of in when she says News Channel 5's legal analyst, right? And so she says, also over the last few weeks, I've considered the concerns of community members who are adamant that they do not want agricultural rezone to industrial. I've also considered that planning unanimously voted down that planning, which is the Metro Planning Committee, they unanimously voted down your rezone proposal. And additionally, last night at our community meeting, a Cato Road resident brought it to my attention that you do not actually own the property that you told the community you own. I have further investigated the claim. I will not be moving forward with a rezone for Best Brand Liquors warehouse. There is simply no amount of money that your company can bring to the table that will change this determination. And as you can see, when she sent it, if you can see that here, it's no amount is bolded, right? No amount of money that your company can bring to the table that will change the determination. This decision is being made on behalf of the people of District 1. Thanks, Councilmember Joy Kimbrough, District 1. That was sent back in April, right? And I'm sure a bunch of emails, a bunch of texts then ensued and trying to get her to change her mind. And then when they saw that they were not going to be able to get her to change her mind, right? Then they had a temper tantrum and said, oh, let me file an ethics complaint and let's paint her as a liar. But here's what you did not expect. right? See, the black community, what you think is you're just going to be able to go get, because we know what the news does. We want to be able to go get anybody who will get on the camera and say whatever to push the narrative that you want to push, right? Especially if they're getting some personal gain out of this, right? And that's exactly what we saw in this news story. But here, in this time frame, what you are not expecting is us to know that this person that we put in office is definitely for us. Right? This is a woman who does not need money. She does not need your means. She does not need your bribe. She doesn't need any of those things. She's actually took this position so that way she could fight for District 1, because District 1 has had some very, have had trouble with their other council members. Let's just say that, right? And so to have someone stand up against someone trying to come in and build, she's done it multiple times. They wanted to dump dirt over in District 1. She said, no, absolutely not. Take it somewhere else. And they had to. So this is someone who is standing up for a part of town that is mainly, right, people of color. And so when you have someone doing that, then what they want to do is start this smear campaign. And then what you're not going to do is start a smear campaign against someone who we know in the community is a fighter for others, someone who is a legal disruptor, someone who always comes to defend others. And so when I see that, which is what I see, right, is you're coming for one of us, then you need someone else to come help defend them. And thank God I'm here for that, right? Because we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. No. I see what you're doing all over the country. We know Trump's plan. We know all these different things. But you're not going to bully your way into putting a 350,000 square foot liquor warehouse over in the black part of town. Put it in Belle Meade. That's it. So I want you all to follow along with this story. Mainstream media attempts, and the only one that it was even at the meeting was News Channel 5. No other news stories were there. And so I want you all to follow along with this. I want you to actually look in, and I want you to start reading into what's going on. I want you to see for yourself. I want you to demand answers. They're saying, oh, you're going to run a story and you got a recording and you're not going to play that recording? What? What? And why? Play the recording. Let us decide for ourselves. And then the cameraman was there. I have footage of him. He's like trying to yell at her, talking about something. Show us the text. Show us the emails. First of all, she sent her constituents exactly what she needed to send her constituents. She has spoken to them and told them everything they need to see and know. Right? You are the ones bringing these allegations that are baseless. You provide the evidence. This is bullshit. And this is what they do to black women that stand up for our community, and we are not going to stand for that. So I need for you all to come together and stand for District 1 in this time frame, right? Councilwoman Joy Kimbrough, who is fighting for the least of us. I need for all of us to come together, and when News Channel 5 is running these stories, we need to demand release the records. I want to know more. Right? And even at the end when they did the story and then they're speculating on what may happen, like, oh, what could happen? Or it could lead to criminal charges or blah, blah, blah. What? Oh, is that where we're going with this? Over someone who is literally filed an ethics complaint over 5 months later? After he didn't get his way and building his liquor store where the black people are? Kiss my ass. We're not going to go down with that. No, we're not doing that, y'all. We're not going to do that at all. So I want to invite you all to follow along for the real story. I want you to follow along. Go back and look at when I actually addressed the media lynching of Gideon's army, right? Go back and look at those things of that nature, because I'm going to give you the different side. I'm going to make sure that you actually see the full narrative and not the narrative that the media wants to paint. So I will let you all know we will be doing an interview with Councilwoman Joy Kimbrough, and we'll be going deep into the harmful things that these developers are trying to do in these specifically black neighborhoods, and then how the media is helping in that, right? Let's look at that. And how the people that we have elected, or the people that have been elected before, are assisting in these things. How they're moving the strings behind the scenes. I don't play these games. I don't like any of this, right? That's why I'm not a politician. Y'all know that. I just care. I'm a citizen and I care. And so I'm going to stand up and I'm going to make sure y'all know what's going on. And I'm going to make sure that y'all are able to make sure your voices are heard. We're not playing this game lying down. No, we're not. We're going to do this in real time, right? So like When we had to look at the other situation, we had to go back and kind of say, okay, this is what happened. This is what the evidence was. No, but this is in real time. We're about to look at this in real time. There have been allegations made against a pillar in our community who's done nothing but stand up for the least of us. And we're going to fight this in real time. So y'all follow along for this journey. All right. At Black Law Girl on YouTube. Subscribe. I'll see y'all there.